By sticking with the plan, Rishi Sunak is steadying the ship and making progress. Inflation is down from over 11% to near 2%. Taxes are being cut, wages are rising and mortgage rates are coming down. NHS waiting lists are falling month on month, and flights to deport illegal migrants are about to take off. That's proof the plan is working.
I mean, where do you even start with this bollocks?
Inflation is down from over 11% to near 2%.
When inflation started to accelerate in early 2022, then Chancellor Rishi Sunak couldn't wait to attribute the rise to global factors. Now they're actually claiming it as a success for government policy that it's come down. By now even Larry the Cat knows the job of cutting inflation is for the Bank of England. So any suggestion the government is responsible for it falling just insults the public's intelligence, something which they're now doing on a daily basis.
Taxes are being cut.
The tax burden under this government is forecast to increase to near record levels. Never underestimate just how thick this lot think we all are.
Wages are rising.
Pay packets are now worth less than they were in 2008 in nearly 2/3 of UK local authorities. Just think about that. Millions of workers are currently enduring the longest pay squeeze in more than 200 years. Not since Napoleonic times has there been such a sustained period of wage stagnation.
And mortgage rates are coming down.
Seriously? The Tories' catastrophic mini-budget has left millions facing soaring mortgage costs and the risk of losing their homes.
NHS waiting lists are falling month on month.
There are millions of people waiting to start routine hospital treatment in crumbling hospitals. An NHS staffing crisis with a desperate shortage of doctors and nurses. Thousands dying every year on NHS waiting lists. If all that's not bad enough, the Royal College of Nursing has just declared a national emergency.
And flights to deport illegal migrants are about to take off.
Well, you may need to sit down for this next bit. A report by the National Audit Office has uncovered a string of add-on fees agreed by ministers with the Rwandan government that could see taxpayers shelling out nearly £2 million for every person the Tories sent to Rwanda.
That's proof the plan is working.
Never in living memory have families got so much poorer over a single parliament. We've now got record numbers using food banks, including nurses and teachers and even police officers. We've just seen the biggest rise in absolute poverty in 30 years. Millions are now living in poverty and destitution. That means they can't even afford the most basic living essentials. Does that sound like a plan that's working? And just watch this.
They're also a threat to the money in your pocket. They'll bankrupt Britain with their £38.5 billion black hole, costing working families £2,094 more in taxes.
This absolutely shameless claim has been completely rubbished and debunked. But that hasn't stopped the Prime Minister repeating it over the past week.
£2,000 for every working family in our country in higher taxes. £2,000 for every working family in our country in higher taxes. £2,000.
Do I really have to keep pointing this out? Labour's plan is fully costed, and Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves has promised there will be no additional tax rises needed beyond those she has set out if Labour wins the general election. The Prime Minister's shameless claim that Labour's plans would cost
It means a £2,000 tax bill for every working family in our country
is just complete bollocks, and he knows it. Don't just take my word for this.
Jeremy Hunt unveiled a Conservative dossier called Labour's Tax Rises. This claimed that Labour had committed to £38.5 billion in unfunded spending over the next 4 years, which it alleged was equivalent to £2,094 per working household. The Conservatives have made some questionable assumptions about how much a future Labour government would spend based on what it said about things like providing school breakfast clubs and bringing more public service delivery in-house rather than using private companies. Moreover, to get to that £38.5 billion figure, they've added up 4 years of supposedly additional spending to make it sound bigger. It's a bit like your boss adding up your wages over the next 4 years and suggesting that figure is your salary.
That's right, it's like your boss adding up your wages over the next 4 years and suggesting that figure is your salary. What happened to honesty in politics? And if that's not bad enough, the Prime Minister's claim is also economically illiterate, because his claim assumes that every working family in the country makes exactly the same contribution in tax.
£2,000. £2,000 is £2,000. It means a £2,000 tax bill for every working family in our country.
Which of course they don't. And again, the Prime Minister knows it. The amount of tax paid varies from household to household, with the best off paying more. For the Prime Minister to be running about the country trying to frighten the public into voting for him with this rubbish claim not only takes us all for fools, it's utterly shameless. There's only one thing to do on July 4th, and that's send the whole lot packing.